lot 16, lot 15, and lot something else. I said, our lot is 13. You know what I mean? I don't know if you remember that. Our lot is number 13. Okay. But they've been busy trying to get us to move on their behalf. Now, what is domesticating the system and the cost to the system? And momentum, or any momentum, any focus taken at this end will be returned at the other end. What does that mean? Anything that they do to us, like just funny stuff. This morning or last night, they was talking about it so cold, scared me to death, so I slept upstairs. I slept upstairs and I went to bed around 2 or 3 o'clock this morning, and I woke up fresh as a daisy around 7 or 8, ready to go. But when I sleep downstairs, I wake up groggy, and I go back to sleep. And it may be way up in the day when I wake up, when I sleep downstairs. When I sleep upstairs, I wake up just like I was a few years ago, fresh and ready to go. That's the way I woke up this morning. So I just waited and laid it, and I just wrote down all of these things while I'm laying on my side. And I could tell all kind of little funny stuff. Like we put a roof over here, and we went up on the roof sometime, and you could see the slice of stuff, paper, and I just roll over the top of it, and it wouldn't be no leak, right? Same thing on the other roofs. We done did them all over all the time. So on that little hole over there, we went way above it, way over here, way over there, right? So it would be impossible for it to be a leak on top of that. And then we sealed it up too. We didn't seal up mine. The point is, I put little stuff on the plumbing, the glue stuff, and under my sink in the kitchen upstairs. I'll put that glue on, and then I'll let it dry, and it won't leak at all. Then I'll put some more on top of this. I got gobs of glue so thick. Okay, downstairs where I'm at, nothing leaks. But maybe somebody pulls it or shakes it, and it starts leaking again and again and again. I mean, I have stuff in my house where I hear big bang, bang, and then I go up there and look. I said, who's that breaking the floor? Anyway, long story. The point is, I deal with that stuff all the time. All the time. Okay, I mentioned the plagues of Moses. Okay, boss man, you don't straighten up, you're going to get lice and frogs and all of that stuff. And then down near the end, he says, Pharaoh said, we're going to kill all your young people, da 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 da. And Moses says, oh no. I don't know, well, you probably, it allows in the 10 Commandments, And he said, that's one of the things that God gonna do to you. The firstborn of each one of your children gonna die. That's where the Passover come from. This thing gonna swoop through, and you put that sheep's blood, whatever it is, on your door, and that fog gonna pass over your house. That's what the greatest celebration the Jews have up to today is the Passover. That God's plague would pass over. That's what they say in their book, right? Everybody know the Passover. All right. So we have a situation where what we're saying is, and we're firm on it, they want us to go back to California and win our case and do that. We said, no, we ain't going back. We want you to just stand up and say we made a mistake, and you, to prove that you serious, you give us so much amount of money for all the you ain't giving us nothing. You didn't cause us that much problem. And in Germany, when Americans would run over one tree in the forest with a tank or something, the Germans would charge them for that tree and any trees that it might produce, which that's on a sliding scale, right? So the trouble that the government then caused us, that's up to Allah. But what we're gonna do is the same thing we've been doing. We sticking like glue till we're not budging till we get ready, right? And anything you take off on this end, that's what this means. Allah gonna give it to us on the other end. That's why we feel very comfortable about 25 years. It may be more. It may be more. And it don't make no difference if it's tomorrow. You know what I mean? Because we believe, or now, the more good we do, the better things are gonna be. You know, and so you have the ability to design, to make yourself. So whatever they take off on this end, and we have said it, about biodegradable, psychodegradable, all that stuff, that we're gonna take the stuff they give us or throw on us and turn it into fertilizer, good stuff. Okay, so this is preemptive domestication. Like files in Oakland that were stolen. So the ability to sustain what we're now calling design fitna in a counteroffensive, right? In other words, they studying us. We make design fitna against them. They restudy us and they throw some more of their design fitna. You know, you can see it's all designed. Very purposefully, very thought out. But it ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. We could sustain this for just a long time. We can sustain it. We've been sustaining it. Now, when you walk around, you'll see that we need floors down there. We need painting. We need to fix everything we have needs something done to it. So everything that they do to us to slow us down, it's going to come in on another way. Yeah. Khadijah's statement, 12/2/13 at our program in Oakland. You ought to the white man got you figured out, so you might as well give up. That's exactly what she said. And of course, he should have me figured out. After all these years, he'd be stupid. But we got him figured out too. In this 2013, just go back to Design Fitna, 2011. Go back to this time. It'll be 10 years ago. Because they had arranged things for on February the 11th, which would be the anniversary of the revolution in Iran, that they were supposed to have this big show in Egypt. Remember, in Egypt, that's when everybody was talking about, this is when it's gonna happen. They didn't set it up like that to happen. And the Arab Spring, we said there ain't gonna be none of that. That's what we told them then. It was clear that they was hooking all of this up to fit in. The revolution in Iran happened, and Imam Khomeini got back on this day, and that way they call it the 10 days of dawn, and on February the 11th, it all jumped off, the whole new Islamic Republic. We told them, no, it ain't gonna. That's definitely arranged. That's arranged. And we said it here. Now, nobody else said it. They had Muhammad al-Asi and Masood Shajare, from the sun. They done sent me on plenty of wild goose chases. No problem, no problem. I got a chance to see Switzerland. You know, they sent me to Switzerland. I hadn't been to Switzerland before. It was a wild goose chase, but fine. I had a chance to go to Switzerland and to make sure that I get there after the pilot. We was over there at Dallas, and the pilot finally came on. He said, this has never happened before. So I already knew they waiting on the brother. This has never happened before. That means they running could you put just a pinch of heat, just a pinch of heat. Okay, let's get back to, yes.
Okay. Someone says you should just give up because the white man got you figured out.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what? What you supposed to do when you give up?
Well, no, give up, kind of retire, like the lawyer called me. The public defender, which is a public pretender, of course. That's when I was leaving Reno. The white lady that won the case for me, but she kept the police out of it. The one I told the court I didn't want her. Anyway, she says, why don't you just let them have Oakland and you stay in D.C.? Same thing that the FBI told me. Right? Just let him have Oakland. And okay, what would I do? I would retire. My friend that traveled, Sudanese brother, he was here a while ago. So he's seen a lot of this. We used to run together every morning in the Masjid in Oakland. Maybe there's some came up. He says, maybe since you're getting a little older, they might be taking it a little easy on you. So just, you know, I have my own ideas about that. They're not taking it easy on us because we've developed a policy where we're not going to take it easy on them. You got to remember, nobody has had them where they've had where we have them. We have to remember where we are and what we're doing. Just because there's no million people here, that ain't no big deal. That don't have nothing to do with it. It has to do with, let's look at it like this. Let's look, well, what the notes here said, a white man is a fool. That's just what our notes say. Easy to trap. Look who he uses. I have here Bahi Abdul Malik and those people. And also, the first go-round was like when Hassan Nuruddin and all those people were part of they're sitting right up next to me. And when they left, what he said was, you don't know what you're up against. That was in 1985, I guess. What, 35 years ago? He didn't know what he was up against. This is not arrogance. What I mean is, we had already put together, you could see some of the writings. When they stole the accordion folder and others, I put Big Victory. What big victory is anybody talking about? Big victory is exactly what we're talking about right now. We've had a whole process of victories. Number one, when the Arab Spring was supposed to be coming, we say, you ain't gonna have no Arab Spring. We know you're not gonna have no Arab Spring. And why? You look at Al-Nadha party in Tunisia. Who was that? Rashid Ghanouchi. We had 1,000 programs with Rashid Ghanouchi, Dr. Kaleem Siddiqui. All of the people now that have 10 to 15 years in, 30 and 40 years ago, we were having programs together. All of us were on the same side. We understand each other. We understand them, and we understand, I remember about 10 years ago, something when I was talking to Zafar on the phone, because I would always call him and say, well, you can put me up on what's going on. So he would begin to put me up on what's going on. And I would dutifully listen. And not that I didn't know the stuff already, or not that I didn't know better than him. So finally he was telling me, well, looks like Al-Nadha in Tunisia is going to make a move, and then I said, don't you think it'll happen quicker in Egypt? Because you could see they had it, Egypt wrote down, Egypt going to jump off first. But what happened? Egypt jumped off bigger, and they was pushing Egypt, and they killed all the Ikhwanis. And we said, don't take power. Al-Nadha in Tunisia looked up and said, hey, and they had the power, and they relinquished it to play a part in the new ruling structure, but not to lead it. Why? It was just clear. Whoever, if they give you leadership, then they're going to make sure, because Muslims always wanted power, power, power. But when it come time to get power, we said, don't take it. Don't take power, because if you do, they're not going to allow you, the Israelis, the Americans, they're not going to allow you to fix nothing. Then the people going to blame it all on you, right? That was clear what Egypt was set up like that. Hey, okay, now, what is strategic brilliance? What is strategic management? What is design fitna? And what is counter encirclement? And what is tafweed and tawakkul? What type of cocktail? Now, we talk about tafweed, tawakkul, and all of that, right? And rida. But what type of cocktail are we using against boss man? How much strategic management are we using? Remember, tafweed, remember, we've surrendered everything to Allah. But we're going to just, for practice, we're going to mix in a little, right? Design fitna. Strategic management, counter encirclement. That's what we're going to do to them. It's not that what we're going to do. That's what we do to them all the time. We do that. I just want everybody to we do that. We're not, so they can slow this down. That don't make no difference. That's actually, the way we look at it, that's good. Because we're having that effect because we plan that. But how much tawakkul you're putting in this? How much design fitna? In other words, we got a cocktail that we're serving them. It's a cocktail that's all stirred up. It's a smoothie almost. Yes, it is. But it's got all the blends of everything we've been training with. How much strategic management under conditions of repression, right, is in that mix? Like bananas and strawberries and all of that is in the mix. Okay. That means we got certain benefits. The benefit of arrogance and ignorance. Boy, that's so wonderful.